I know. You want the fireplace? There you go. You silly. Okay, good lighting. Let's find it here. Yeah, this is not bad. Okay, so I am going to head to the store and get a goose. You guys have requested it. I had some other things scheduled to post, but I'm gonna hold off on it. I'm curious because, wait, no, it was duck that I've had before. I've had duck, not goose. Duck, goose. So I'm gonna see if I can find a goose to even cook. I don't even know if that's something my local grocery stores would have. I'm going to tempt it, and if I cannot find a goose, then maybe I'll do some Cornish hens. I don't know. Let's see what this video is going to be. But I hope I can find a goose. I'm gonna go to Whole Foods and another store, see if I can see if they sell it. But anyways, it was a request. I've had a couple, sorry, I sound worse than I feel. I have had this requested, and so I go, okay, let's try it. I'm curious. So I'm going to cook it very simply. If I can find one, I'm going to season it very simply, nothing fancy. And just kind of wing it. I'll Google some cook times for goose. I'm assuming you roast it like a chicken. I hope. I want to say I know they're larger, so it's probably going to take a lot more time, and maybe prepping it is differently than chicken, but it can't be too far off. So we'll see. But Christmas goose, 'tis the season. Let's go find one. Grab my coffee. Let's get my shoes on. And let's go. Okay, so I'm back and I found a 10-pound goose. I went really early this morning. It's frozen, so I've been thawing it in cold water since this morning. On the package, it said to thaw for 6 to 8 hours in cold water. I'm doing that. But for best results, thaw a day and a half to 2 days before you're going to cook it in the refrigerator. I also am going to be roasting it in the oven, and I used Gordon Ramsay's Christmas goose YouTube video as a reference as far as cook times and sort of how he prepped it. So I'm going to link that below for you guys so you can check that out. I'm going to sort of season it in my own way. This is my first time making a goose, but I think it'll be fine. And I'm going to also make some roasted sweet potato and garlic lemon green beans. I will link the green beans video that I did last year because that's sort of what I'm doing anyways. But I'm excited. Thank you for the inspiration. You guys requested this. Like I said earlier, I had some other videos that I was just going to post today that I already, were pre-recorded and edited. But I'm going to hold off on that, and we're going to do a Christmas goose. So let's do it. Okay, so now I'm going to make a dry rub, basically, for my goose. And you could use salt. I'm using a seasoned salt. And I guess you could season your goose with what you want. I'm going to go for, I might not even use all of this rub. I'm going to do 2 tablespoons of seasoning salt, like a half tablespoon of onion powder, and let's do half lemon pepper. So seasoned salt, onion powder, and I have some lemon pepper. And I'm going to give that a mix. And this is going to be the rub for my goose. Very simple. Okay, so I took the netting off of my goose, and I just want to show you guys here. This is directions for a golden roast goose. And like I said, here are, The cook time, 350. Remove the neck and giblets from the body cavity. Remove the excess fat. Rinse the bird. Drain. You want to prick the entire skin. Well, I'm going to score the skin. To stuff and fill the neck, you want to stuff it loosely. Cover the bottom of your roaster pan with water, but I'm going to put mine on a rack, so I'm going to skip that step. You want to place the goose breast side up. You know, it says cover with roaster pan lid or foil. Continue roasting until meat thermometer registers 180 to 185 degrees Fahrenheit. It says allow about 25 to 30 minutes per pound for a stuffed goose and 18 to 22 minutes per pound for an unstuffed goose. Well, I'm going to loosely stuff mine, and per the Gordon Ramsay, because I'm not going to cover it and pack it stuffed, you know, I'm not going to firmly pack the cavity. I'm going for 15 minutes per pound, but it does say 180 to 185 degrees Fahrenheit. So these are instructions if you want to follow it, but I'm going to do something a little different. But, you know, it's good to adhere and do your research, adhere to package instructions and do your own research. But we'll see how mine comes out today. So I'm going to come back when I have removed the packaging. I am going to just kind of dunk it in cold water, pat it dry, and remove anything that needs to be removed, and we are going to prep this. Okay, so here is my goose. I'm going to remove this fat. You probably could pull it off. By the way, that's my kid. I'm using gloves. Normally I just do this with my hands, but I have some cuts on my fingers that I want to protect, so that's why I'm using gloves today. By the way, you could save this fat and render it yourself in a pan. I don't know if I could throw this in the roasting pan, if it'll burn before it renders. I don't know. But you could do it separately so you can have some goose fat. So I think I might do that. I'm not going to toss it out. I'm going to render it and save it. I can put it in the freezer and do something with some goose fat. Here's the neck skin. I'm just going to trim that off with my kitchen shears. And there is fat in here too that you can remove. So this is what I removed from fat and just extra skin. I'm going to put that aside. So now I'm going to take a sharp knife and I'm going to score the skin. So I'm just gonna, and I think I cut too deep on the leg. If you can see the red flesh, it's too deep. So just kind of, and this knife is sharp, so I'm gonna do the best I can. Okay, so I have trimmed all the excess fat, removed everything from the cavity. I went ahead and tucked the wings under, and I've scored the skin. Now I'm going to season it with the rub that I made earlier. And this is seasonal salt, salt-free lemon pepper, and onion powder. Use whatever you want to season your goose with. Salt and pepper. Gordon Ramsay had the video I'm linking below this video. He used like a Chinese 5-spice citrus combo, which is probably great. I might try that one day, but this is what I'm using today. Okay, so it looks like I used pretty much all of my rub. So now I'm going to stuff the cavity with some fresh sage, thyme, and rosemary. Just a couple of bundles of each. Here I have just one celery stick that I've cut into 4s. Gonna add that. Half of a large apple. Angelica. Okay, half of my large apple. Now half of a medium-sized onion. I just cut these into large chunks, and this is going to loosely pack the cavity. There we go. And I'm just going to truss this. I'm going to get something, and I've already tucked the wings under. I'm going to truss the legs, and this is going to be ready to be roasted. Okay, so here is my trussed, and I actually used just a piece of the extra skin from the neck to just sort of keep the legs closed. I couldn't find my trussing twine, and it's stuffed in the cavity with celery, onion, and apple, and some poultry fresh herbs like thyme, rosemary, and sage. I did just a simple seasonal salt rub, and I just tucked the wings underneath, and here I have it on a large baking sheet with a rack. And this is ready for the oven. By the way, I am putting this in the oven at 482 degrees. I'm going to let it roast for 15 minutes at a high temperature. After 15 minutes, I'm going to lower it to 350 and continue cooking until I reach an internal temperature of 180 degrees Fahrenheit. There it goes. Okay, so by the way, here is all that extra fat and skin that I cut off. I'm going to render this for fat in the oven as well. So it's been 15 minutes. I've lowered my oven down to 350. Now my goose is cooking, and I'm going to render this in the 350 oven until it's rendered, and I'll pull it out. But I just wanted to show you what I'm doing with all the extra fat. Okay, you guys, so I pulled out the goose. I have 30 more minutes left of cook time. It actually looks almost done, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to remove it, put it on another pan. I'm going to remove all that rendered fat, but once I put this on the other pan, I'm going to glaze it with a little mixture of honey, some of this hot goose fat, and a little bit of soy sauce to give it just a deeper golden brown color and some flavor. You don't have to do that, but I'm testing a theory out. I want to see what the color looks like. So I'm going to grab this. Oh, it's hot, but it worked. So this gave me a lot of rendered fat, but I'm going to move this out of the way for now. I just need a little bit of it. Okay, so here I have my cooked goose. I think this is done. I'm going to check the temp. I think this is done, but I'm probably going to mix this up. This is honey, soy, and some of that hot rendered goose fat. I'm going to give it a mix and just brush the exterior with this honey, soy, goose fat mixture. And then I'm going to put it right back into the oven for another 20 minutes to let it continue cooking. It only has about 20 to 30 minutes left. Again, use your thermometer, you guys, to check the temp for this. And now I'm going to brush it. Okay, back into the oven. Okay, so I have my meat thermometer in the thickest part of the duck, and it is almost at 180. So I'm actually kind of tempted to just rest it, and I think it should be fine. I think it should be fine. This definitely, it's done. I mean, the meat's pulling away from the bone here. So and it's still slowly rising, so I think I'm going to keep it out. Okay, you guys, so my goose is done. And I gotta say, I'm excited. A lot of that fat rendered. The skin is so crispy, and I glazed it with that honey, soy, and goose fat mixture towards the end for the last 15 minutes. I took it out, and it was almost at 180. I think it's done. I don't want it to dry out or cook any more than what it looks. So hopefully I'm not cutting into a raw bird, but it looks good to me. So I'm going to temp it and just kind of let it hang out for about 25-30 minutes before I carve into it. And I'm going to work on my sides, and we're going to be cutting some Christmas goose here soon. By the way, take a look at my sweet potatoes. They are done. So I'm just going to let them hang out here. They are really hot right now. I'm gonna let them hang out, and you know, when I'm ready to serve, I'll just kind of open them up, mash them up, and serve them with melted butter. Okay, so here's that pan of extra skin and fat that I pulled off of the goose when I trimmed it, and it rendered lots of fat. So I'm going to collect this and save it separately from the other rendered fat, because this one's just plain fat. It's not going to be flavored or anything, but I just wanted to show you what happened with the extra fat that I rendered. So this has rested, and I'm ready to carve this thing. So first things first, I want to get the wings off. Let's see. You want to make sure you carve and just kind of pull at the joint. There we go. And now it'll make it easier to cut right at the joint. There it goes. Okay, so this is the wing off. Okay, so I wanted to show you the breast. I basically cut down and kind of carved it around this bone as close as I could. It does kind of move away, or it is a little different than, I mean, it's sort of the same than cutting how I cut chicken breasts. It's just, I just feel like it's kind of less plumpy than maybe a chicken breast, because you can see like the bones right there. So I'm just going to shave some slices here. Not really shave, but just slice into it like that. Okay, you guys, so I didn't finish carving, I mean, all of it, because we're not going to eat all of it today, but I just served it on a platter with a sprig of rosemary, and here is my beautiful roasted goose, and I've already tried it. It's so good. I mean, I'm going to show you what our plates are going to look like. It's very simple, and that honey, soy, and goose fat glaze that I glazed it with, it really just almost gave it an umami taste. It's so good. Okay, you guys, it is done. Look at this plate. I have my sweet potato. Can you see that? I have my roasted goose and my green beans. And I'm gonna try it. I already tried it. It's so good. I'm gonna create the perfect bite. A little bit of goose, some green beans. I mean, why didn't I do this sooner? And it's not gamey. I thought goose was going to be really gamey, and it's not. I actually think turkey can taste gamey. I don't know. I like this. Okay. Really good bite. I really kind of worried, and maybe you guys in the comment section will be like, why did you do that? But the honey with the soy and a little bit of that hot rendered goose fat to kind of glaze the top for the last like 20 or 15, 20 minutes. I mean, say what you will. It might be bizarre to you. I don't know. I think it really elevated that exterior. It just paired really well. But anyways, that is my first Christmas goose. I don't know. I think I might have a new favorite. I always look for new things to cook for the holidays. I like trying new things, and this is one of them. So thank you for the inspiration. Thank you for suggesting it to my commenters. I had several people. I even had someone DM me to do this, and I'm like, oh, okay. So I did it. And I wish you guys a happy holiday and a Merry Christmas, and it doesn't matter what you are going to cook. Spend it with the ones that you love, and every meal will taste great. At least that's in my opinion. So I will put what I used for this Christmas goose to kind of season it in the description below. Look for some other links, especially for like the green beans that I made. The sweet potatoes, I just baked them in the oven 400 degrees, you poke holes, clean them, 400 degrees Fahrenheit for 55 minutes to an hour until they are done. That is it. Very simple, and it goes great with Christmas goose. So I hope you guys give this recipe a try, and I hope you like it. And thanks for watching. Bye.